friends, I'm Ashley Morris, the owner and lead tutor at amtutors.com, where we specialize in one-on-one virtual math tutoring for middle school and high school students. And in this video, we are going to talk about graphing in standard form. Now, I have another standard form video, but in that one, we converted from standard, the ax plus by equals c, to slope intercept, y equals mx plus b. In this one, we are not going to convert. We're going to use a different method to graph. I'm not really particular about which method gets used, so I like having both in my back pocket depending on the situation. So this one we're going to use the x and y intercepts. The x-intercept is where you cross the x-axis. So if you're on the x-axis, y equals 0. That's important to remember. And the y-intercept is where you cross the y-axis, and that's where x equals 0. So this little piece right here, we got to remember that. We're going to use that for this. Again, this is just another method of graphing. So sometimes I use this one, sometimes I use y equals mx plus b. It kind of depends on the situation. I like this one if there's more fractions for my intercepts. I tend to like this one better. So if you're having trouble too with slope intercept, make sure you go check that out. Also check out our horizontal and vertical videos. Good stuff in there. Alrighty, so how do I find my intercepts? Let me zoom in so I can make sure I have space. So my x-intercept was when y equals 0. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to plug in 0 for y, and then we're going to solve this. So that ends up giving me 3x equals negative 12. And there's a lot of people that just teach like a cover-up method where they'll just like cover this up with their finger. I'm going to show you all the work first, and then we can do that later. Divide by 3, and we get x equals negative 4. So my x-intercept, 1, 2, 3, is negative 4. We're going to do the same idea for my y-intercept. Y-intercept, x equals 0. So we get 3 times 0 minus 4y equals negative 12. 3 times 0 is 0, so we just get negative 4y equals negative 12. And then we're going to divide, and we get 3. Our y-intercept is 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we connect the dots. Ta-da! So some people like that a lot better than solving for the y and getting, like solving for y and getting the slope intercept form. Again, they're both good, just depends on the situation or what your teacher is asking for. So let's look at this one. And this one I am going to do the cover-up method. So for the x-intercept, we know y equals 0. So I'm just going to cover up the y. That gives me 5x equals 10. Divide by 5, x equals 2. That's an equal sign, not a negative. There we go. Oops, no, positive 2, just kidding. And then cover up the x, because x equals 0 for the y-intercept. If x gets covered up, you just get y equals 10. That's easy, nothing to solve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just be careful when you count with these and use your straight edge. You only have 2 points, so you don't have anything to really help you check to make sure you got them in the right line. So just be extra careful on that one. All right, cover up method again. I'm going to cover up the x. That gives me negative y equals 2. That's an invisible negative 1. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. So my y is negative 2. Cover up the y, and that gives me x equals 2. So that's done. And then just connect my dots. This is really handy when you have fractions, I think. Because for me, if my y-intercept is a fraction or a decimal and then I'm counting up and over, I know me, I'm not going to be super duper accurate as I count up and over from a decimal or a fraction. So I like this one if there's decimals and fractions involved. Okay, I want you to pause and try this one. I hope you paused. Now we're going to do it. So let's set the x stuff equal to 14 to get my x-intercept. X is 2. Set the y stuff equal to 14. And be careful, when you cover up the x stuff, you still have that negative in front of the y, in front of the negative 2. Make sure that negative is still there. Negative 7. I gotta scroll down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's hard graphing on a computer. I hope you're doing this on paper. Connect your dots with your straight edge, and you're done. So like I was saying, this is really great if It's really great if they're integers. Again, it's not super accurate if you get fractions. So just be careful. I prefer doing this method usually if there's fractions or decimals because I'm not counting up and over with a fraction. Like I'm not going to 3.5 and then going up 2 to 5.5 and then over. That gets wonky for me. But graphing in general, when you have intercepts that are decimals and fractions, it's not going to be super accurate. So do the best you can and show all your work. Reminder, y equals 0, y equals 2, y equals any number. It's a horizontal line. X equals 3 is a vertical line. There is a video on just horizontal and vertical. So go check that out. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell, all that stuff. So whenever a new video comes out, you get a notification. And if you need more practice on any of this, I do have worksheets. Just click on the link and go to my Teacher Pay Teacher store. They're $1 each. I kept them really low on purpose. I hope you have a great day. Bye.